The first 24 to 72 hours after a car crash are crucial. It's what you do or don't do during this time that can make or break your case. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 things that you need to do immediately after a car wreck, including the one thing that most people forget that can seriously hurt your case later on. Immediately after your crash, you're probably going to be in significant pain. You're going to be pissed. You're going to be angry, and you're going to be trying to sort through what you need to do. But it's going to be really, really important, despite all of these things that are going on, that you maintain your calm and get organized. These 5 things are how I want you to prepare and how I want you to get organized in order to build your case or build your claim to present to the insurance company later on. So the very first thing I want you to do is write everything down. And this is all encompassing. It doesn't matter if it's on a piece of paper, if you get yourself a little notebook or you open a notes app, but I want you to write everything down. And in the first 24, 48 hours, 72 hours, I want you to be writing things down while you're laying in the bed when you're thinking about, okay, what happened right before the crash? Who'd you see? Who'd you talk to? What happened? What did the other person say to you at the scene? All of these things are going to be important, and they're all things that you're probably going to forget. Even though you don't think you're going to forget them, you will forget as time goes on. The things that I want you to think about writing down are, 1, things about the crash that we just talked about. The second thing is about your pain, about your injuries. I want you to be writing down the discomfort, the anxiety, the feelings, how it's hurting you to get out of bed or brush your teeth. These are things that as time goes on, you're going to forget how much this impacted your life. And it's going to be really important to be able to have that snapshot for you. The third thing I want you to write down are the things that you're missing out on. So is there a family vacation? Is there a wedding or something that is going on in your life that's not reflective in the medical bills or the documentation of your property damage, but it's something else that's going on in your life that you're missing out on? Maybe it's, you couldn't go to a kid's play or a kid's soccer game. Those things matter. It certainly probably matters to you right now when you're missing them. You want to keep documentation of those misses, and the best way you can do that is just through writing them down. Again, it doesn't have to be anything official. You're just going to want to write it on your piece of paper, open your notes app on your phone, whatever. Just keep writing them down. And the fourth thing I want you to be writing down is all of the conversations you have with insurance adjusters, insurance companies. I want you to write down when you talk to them, what they said, what you said to them. I want you to be writing down conversations you have with your doctor also. When you went to the doctor, I went to the doctor today, I went to my physical therapist today. All the things that you are going through, it's very, very important, vitally important that you keep a record of all of those conversations so that you just don't forget. Even though right now, I've said this before, but even though right now you feel like you won't forget this stuff because it's so important, you will. They will lose the significance that they have in your life at that moment in time. And the best way to kind of solidify that is to write it down. The first thing I want you to do is write everything down. The second thing I want you to do is notify your insurance company. In the first 24, 72 hours, I want you to notify your insurance company. And a lot of people don't like doing this. They feel like, well, the other guy's at fault, so why do I have to do this? Why do I have to call my own insurance company? The reasoning is kind of threefold. You want to get them involved because just in case you need to use your collision coverage. You want to also get them involved in case you have PIP or med pay money, or maybe even rental car coverage, okay? Things that you may need to use to kind of bridge the gap between now and when the at-fault carrier picks up the check. And the third thing is for your underinsured or uninsured motorist stuff, right? And so you want to do this because it's gonna protect you in case the other party either denies that they are at fault or changes their story, or God forbid they don't have insurance on their vehicle. And then if you've notified your insurance company, you've kind of jump-started the process. You kind of move the ball farther down the road so that if the other party screws up or takes a hard line with you, you've fast-forwarded the process, at least with your own insurance company, to get the ball rolling. The third thing I want you to do is preserve all the evidence. And this usually takes the form of photographs. It's taking pictures of your car, the scene, taking pictures of any skid marks that may or may not be laying on the concrete. If there's anything, like let's say you go home that night and you're laying in the bed and you think, I don't know if I heard any tire marks, or there's something about the scene that makes you think, I wonder if that was there or if that wasn't there. Go back to the scene the next day. Don't wait for a week or two, because whatever may or may not be there, whether it's skid marks or anything like that, it's gonna be gone, right? So get back to the scene, take some photographs, take pictures so that you can kind of lock in that memory and that proof that maybe the person never applied the brakes, or they only applied the brakes for this length of time, right? You want to be able to put that stuff down and have proof to corroborate whatever you say and whatever your testimony is later, okay? This also means talk to witnesses. In South Carolina, you're gonna get a sheet, right? It's gonna be your accident report. On that accident report is gonna have witnesses on there. And you can reach out to those folks and talk to them and see what they have to say. It can be awkward, it can be kind of strange, but in my experience, 99 times out of 100, the person you're calling, they wanna help, right? They stood around the accident scene, they talked to the cops, they have information that you do not know. It might actually be the information that the cop used to write the report, or it might be something he excluded. But you want to talk to those witnesses. You want to get to know them and figure out what they're going to say. And they're going to, surprisingly, even in this day and age, they're going to answer your call, or they're going to call you back. It happens every day. We call folks and we get accident reports. We call folks, they answer, they return calls. It's something that every time I pick up the phone, I'm thinking, I don't know if they're gonna answer, but they do. They answer and they care. The other thing about preserving all the evidence, and this is one of the main things, is you've got to go to the doctor, right? Preserve your injury evidence, right? You have to go to the doctor. You have to go and tell your doctor what the heck happened. You can't go to the doctor and just tell him your shoulder hurts. You got to go to the doctor and say, hey doc, my shoulder hurts. I was in a car crash yesterday, or I was in a car crash a week ago, or God forbid, I was in a car crash 2 months ago and my shoulder still is hurting. You want to tell your doctor all of that information. That's the best way to kind of lock in and document that evidence, the evidence of your injuries. The last thing I want you to do as far as preserving all this evidence is I want you to get the property damage repair estimate and the reports when they actually did the repairs. Because if you are in a case that involves a minor collision or a minor crash, and if at all possible, the other side's going to say, well, nobody should be hurt as bad as you are because look at the damage to the car. I want you to get that property damage claim to make sure that what they're saying is true. Sometimes the body of the vehicle doesn't look very damaged, but they did a substantial amount of work inside the vehicle, maybe building back up the bars that are inside the car that kind of caught the weight or the shock of the crash. So you want to get all of that stuff just in case they push back on, you shouldn't be hurt this much. Your car wasn't damaged that much. Make sure that what they're saying is true, that the car wasn't really damaged. And the best way to kind of disprove that is with the property damage estimate and the actual report that they put together once they finish the repair. The fourth thing I want you to do is get the claim started. Get the accident report, look on it, see who's at fault, who are all the people that were involved in this accident. Is it just one human being, or is it a human being and a company? Does that accident report actually reflect what you saw at the scene? If the accident report says the truck is owned by Bob Smith and Bob Smith was the driver, but there was a giant sticker that said Armando's Pool and Tile Company along the side, but you don't see Armando's name on the accident report, make a note of that, okay? Because that could be very important later on. So you're gonna get the accident report, you're gonna look to see who's at fault, and then you're gonna reach out to the insurance companies first on that accident report to let them know, I was in a wreck, here's the report, it says that your insured's at fault, and just get the ball rolling with them so that you can start the process of potentially getting a rental car or the things that you need moving forward. And I want you to do this no matter what anybody tells you at the scene, okay? Like if you're at the scene and the other party says, hey, I'm gonna call my insurance company, you don't need to, they'll be in touch. Don't trust them, okay? You go notify them, you reach out, you write, you open the claim, you take the initiative. Don't leave it up to them, because every single day that they may wait or may stick their head in the sand is a day that you might not have a rental car or might not get the treatment you need right away. And the final one, and this is the one that a lot of people forget. I want you to be extremely careful in your interactions with the insurance company, especially that first interaction. Be on guard. They're gonna be being very nice. They're gonna be very sweet, courteous, polite. They're gonna sound very reasonable. And they're going to want you to do things that I don't want you to do right off the bat. I don't want you to give details about the crash. I don't want you to give details about your injuries. I want you to hold everything back until you have a chance to digest and analyze what's going on. You may not have even been to the doctor yet. And so I don't want you on the phone with the at-fault party's insurance company right away talking about your injuries, because you just don't know what's hurt. There is all kinds of things that's going on in your body right now that could be clouding your ability to know where your injuries are. You may not know that your elbow is hurt because you're really concentrating on your knee, because that's the thing that hurts the most. And so I want you to limit the information that you're providing to the insurance company right away, so that you have a chance to figure out what's wrong and have a chance to investigate all the facts and who's involved and what may or may not have happened that you're not aware of as part of this case. Now, don't take this the wrong way. Don't be a jerk. Don't be standoffish. Don't be aloof. Give them the basic information they need. You got to provide that kind of stuff so that they can open their claim. But don't get into a story about what exactly happened inside the car with you and how you saw the defendant and where you saw the person and what was going on and what hurt right now, and oh, I'm in so much pain and I've already got to call out for work and my job won't take me back, and all the details, the things that actually do really matter, right? Those things matter. They just don't matter right then. Okay? They matter to the insurance company because they're going to record that. If they're not recording you, they're going to make notes of all the things you said. And if you say, I hurt my knee and that's it, 3 weeks from now when your elbow hurts, they're going to say, well, you didn't tell me that later, or at the time, so I'm not going to cover that, right? So this is not your opportunity to be a jerk or be aloof or be uncooperative. It's your opportunity to be nice and polite and just say, listen, I'm investigating. I don't know what I need to do right now. I don't know what needs to be done, but I'm going to be investigating this case and I will give you information later. But right now, I'm just going to give you what I need to give you, and this is it. So if you've been in a wreck recently and you're trying to figure out what to do, use this as some guidance, how to navigate those first 24 to 72 hours. And if you know somebody that's been in a crash, send this to them so they can be better prepared when they start talking to the insurance company right after their crash.